by convention, we wake you up by hitting this bell here. That's the signal. You're being trained to exit samadhi when you hear this bell. Okay. Because in the past there were, in particular, there was a Buddhist nun who meditated, and even when she was very old, she meditated very often. And one day, her disciples got into her room and found out that she was stiff. She wouldn't respond to the calling, so they thought she was dead. So they cremated her. It turned out she entered samadhi. So since then, we Buddhists knew that we want to check people, we hit the bell first. So just in case. Useful to you. All right. So how was your sit? Feel free to ask any questions as we speak. It's a free-flowing format. I'm here to try to help answer your questions, any concerns that you might have. All right. I started by saying that sitting meditation is to sit. Sitting is the best form of meditation because it helps insulate you from the external world a lot more effectively. And sitting Chan is the way to open your wisdom, open your mind. Okay, so the first thing that has to happen is you need to insulate yourself from the external world so that your mind becomes still. When the mind is still, it's just like the surface of a pond. When the surface of the pond is wavy, it's because it has a lot of waves because you have too many thoughts up here in your brains. So that's the same as the surface of the pond. And when the pond is calm, then you can see clearly all the way to the bottom, supposedly. So similarly, if your mind is still and free of thoughts, then you're able to think a lot faster, analyze a lot better, and penetrate through your problem solving a lot more effectively. All right. And we go actually a lot further than that when we practice meditation, our tradition, in order to become enlightened, which is the ultimate wisdom. All right. So take the case of stress. We're stressed out because we're reacting to the external stimuli, right? Maybe it's the boss. Maybe that you're thinking about the deadline, and you cannot stop thinking about it. You cannot stop worrying about it, right? Because the nature of our mind is that we cannot stop thinking. Can anyone stop thinking at all? Stop your thoughts? If you're able to stop your thoughts, then you can put an end to all your worries on the fly, at will. Okay? So that's why we're victim to the stress, to the external stimuli, because we cannot isolate ourselves from the stimuli. As soon as we hear, we see something, we smell something, we react to it. We keep on thinking about it. Yes?
So my issue is I cannot differentiate whether I'm conscious. Thinking means conscious. So
Can you repeat that?
So without thinking, how am I knowing that I'm not thinking? Like it's like dilemma to me. Like thinking to me is like you're knowing you're conscious. So like you're saying we should stop thinking but be aware or be conscious. Like I cannot distinguish those two really well, the thinking and being conscious or being awake or something.
You ask your meditation teacher this type of question at all?
No,
This
I
very
did.
tough question
This is my
to
first
answer.
time because you mentioned that right now. So then I thought about when do I stop thinking, and I feel like I never do.
You are scary.
Oh really?
For a first timer, the first question ever. Yeah. Of course, you cannot tell the difference. What happened is that your thinking is driven by your thinking mind. Your thoughts are generated by your thinking mind. The thinking mind there, you cannot stop. You cannot put a stop to it. You cannot stop it at all, right? No matter how hard you try, you cannot stop it. Agree or disagree? I look at all of you, I don't see any of you who's able to stop your thoughts. It's doable, it's possible, but it takes a lot of training. That's what Chan meditation does. Ultimately, at your current level right now, you are basically a victim to your thinking mind. You cannot stop thinking. As soon as you wake up in the morning, within 30 seconds, you start thinking about something immediately, yes? And you cannot stop until you pass out. Yes or no? Yes, the question over there. So, just wait for the microphone and so, Chan meditation, this process of training here helps you, first of all, reduce the thoughts that you generate in your mind. Okay? That has to happen first. And then, over time, the number of thoughts you generate that are generated in your mind lessen more and more and more, to the point where you learn how to put an end to those thoughts. It's possible. Okay? My students are able to put an end to the thoughts. But that's only the first significant level, the first worthwhile level of attainment for us when we do Chan meditation. We go a lot further than that, much further than that. Okay? So, the answer to your question is you cannot tell the difference. Of course you cannot tell the difference right now because your thought is full, your mind is full of thoughts. You cannot tell, you worry about food, you worry about work, you worry about your family, you worry about your, about your friends and so forth. You worry about entertainment tonight, what to do this weekend and so forth. So you are constantly agitated by external things. So it's not possible for you to differentiate until your number of thoughts are drastically reduced. Then it makes more sense to help you differentiate them. For now, it doesn't do much for you. But my short answers, it's possible for you to eventually, by practicing Chan, the hard way, the hardcore way. It takes work. It takes hard work to get there. Okay, you have to pay the price for it. Okay, by hard work. Yes.
Yeah. So I've actually attempted before to completely stop my thoughts, and maybe I'm able to do so for just a moment. So it's interesting for me to hear you say that this is something that's humanly possible for a longer period of time. So I was hoping that you could kind of describe this state of being, like how it feels, and then also how do you kind of turn your thoughts back on, or is it not like that? Do they kind of just
like a faucet?
Flow?
Turn on.
Yeah, is it like turn off, turn off?
Flip to the slide about the three realms, please.
Or maybe they're
Very
just slow and then they
okay,
come back.
it's a very good question. Again, your question is too tough. Okay, I hope you take it easy on the rest of us. If you keep this up, I'm not coming back. Because I run out of my answers if the questions become too hard. In Chan meditation, in our world, it's very precise. It's not just talk. What my interest in meditation, what drew me to my teacher, my late Chinese teacher, Master YongHua, is that he teaches, he gives us instructions how to do it. Okay, in meditation, we want to teach you enough only for you to make progress. Okay, and we define progress very precisely. Okay, there we define process by measuring your level of concentration. We call it concentration, samadhi, dhyana, and so forth. Okay, so for most of us, when I first started, I was very scattered. That's zero samadhi. Samadhi, dhyana are basically used interchangeably in our work. Okay, it means concentration level. Okay, it's called no samadhi, meaning where we are right now, in a human realm right now. We are scattered. We cannot concentrate. Okay, and then the first level of concentration when you meditate, okay, is to reach first dhyana. Okay, that's when you're able to begin to concentrate. Okay, and then you go from 1 to 4th level dhyana, and then you move on to 5th samadhi. There's a difference in name. Actually, it's not a big deal. It's basically different levels of concentration as far as you're concerned. Okay. Why does it matter? What is the difference between, zero samadhi to first dhyana? If I can use that as an example, illustrate the point here. When you scatter, okay, when you have zero samadhi, you're easily distracted by the external stimuli. You smell something, you say, oh, I better go to the cafeteria. I'm hungry. Yes? You hear a little bit of music, and say, oh wow, I want to hear more. I'm thinking of entertainment. So that's being scattered. Whatever we come into contact with have a way of affecting, pulling us out of what we're trying to do. That's called scatteredness. It's zero concentration. When you go from there to the first level of dhyana, okay, then you're able to be not as easily distracted. Okay, by what kind? When you get the first dhyana, you are not as easily distracted by 3 types of things. Would you like to know what those 3 are? That's a paying section. All right, I'm not joking. All right, but today, since I have nothing more important to do, you won't be as easily affected by food, by what else? Sleep, very good. And what else? The taboo thing. Sex. Very good. Who said that? Those 3 things, okay, you have a lot more resistance to them. So what happens when you enter first dhyana? What happens? Your mind is free of those 3 types of thoughts.
Can you tell us more about why we want to be distant? I mean, sleep to
Waste
me
of time.
Yeah.
Waste of time. Sleep less.
On behalf of your manager, you're more productive. You can work longer hours.
But you need some sleep, right? You need like 7 you need like 7 or 8 hours of sleep. That's what we learned.
No, you don't.
I learned.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
When you say me, no, I don't. I don't
Okay.
sleep 7 or 8 hours a day. At night, that's too many hours. It'd be a waste of time.
I see. Okay.
How do you know you're wasting time? How do you know when you sleep enough? Would you like to know?
Yeah.
Don't answer that. Because again, it's another paying section. In the morning, before you wake up, you become more conscious, right? You begin to wake up. And then you say, well, it's Saturday morning, that's tomorrow. I want to sleep in a little bit. Yeah, so you stay in bed. Guess what happens? You sleep again, right? You fall asleep again, and then you wake up again. And you try to stay in bed, but then But then you begin to dream or begin to think. Your sleep is no longer restful. Yes or no? Ever happened to you? Happened to me every day. And I realized 7 hours is too long. I brought it down to 6, it's still too much. And then 5, 4, 3, on average I sleep about 2.5 hours. A lot less during our intensive training. Why is that? Because I do not think as much as you do during the day. Thinking is very damaging to you. It drains you, and it's counterproductive. Okay? If you're able to think only when you need to, then you are a lot more productive. You're able to rest the rest of the time when you don't need to work, you don't need to think. And just look at this one. Suppose you're told to hold your fist like this, tightly, all day. Okay? Like this, as if you want to hit someone. Okay? Pretty soon you get tired, don't you? You get tense, you get tired. Okay, what happened to your hand? You can't use it that well anymore. The same thing happens to your mind. If you're thinking constantly, it's the same thing. There's so too much tension in your brains. Okay, and therefore you're not as swift, you're not as fast, you're not as strong, you're not as pierced when you need to. All right, so that's why it's best to be able to be relaxed and use your brains only when you need to. You try to impress your boss. Try to beat up on your colleague during a conference, during a meeting. And when you need to use your mind, you don't want to tense up before you hit someone, right? Okay, so that's why. So first dhyana, you are impervious to. It keeps on. The sound is coming from you. Okay. You are impervious to stimuli that pertains to food, sleep, and sex. Okay. But when you exit first dhyana, you're back to your normal self. Greedy for food, greedy for sleep, and so forth. All right. And so when you move to second dhyana, then you are less prone to generating another set of types of thoughts, and so forth. As you improve, okay, your head becomes less cluttered with different types of thoughts, to the point where you get to samadhi level number 9, which is not in this thing here. Then at samadhi level number 9, your thought becomes 0. All right? Does it help?
So right, at samadhi number 9, when your thoughts are 0, what is that state of being like? Are you just kind of moving in a free flow state?
Okay, okay. If you have to ask about samadhi level number 9, then you're not there yet.
I know.
Okay. So your statement earlier, you said I'm free from thoughts from momentarily. That's not possible for you right now. All right. It's a skill where you practice Chan meditation. There, for your reference, meditation, you want a meditation is like everything else. You need to have the proper training technique. And you go to good schools, great schools, to learn from better teachers and learn better techniques. Same thing here. In order for you to reach 9, samadhi level number 9, you have to learn it from a Buddhist teacher. The non-Buddhists wouldn't know how to do it. Okay, that's a fact from our work, believe it or not. And so at that level, your mind is completely free of thoughts. Your thinking mind is put to rest at will. It's kind of cool. Okay, and when you get there, you will know yourself. Okay, and typically in our world, when you get there, your teacher will help certify you, verify for you, because before that, it's quite commonplace for you to think you can put an end to your thought, but it's not true, because your thought at high level, like Samadhi number 7, for example, your thoughts are so much more refined than you can. It's very difficult for you to see. At 8, it's much more difficult. It's so subtle or so refined that you cannot see them. How are you going to find a way to put an end to, put a stop to them? Unless there's a technique for you to do that. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Yes.
She has a question. Okay.
Yes. Over here.
Okay. Thank you for coming. So I have a follow-up question about sleeping. So you mentioned you sleep about 2 to 3 hours. I just wonder, is that an individual difference, or is like it could be because of meditation? Like, for example, how many hours did you sleep before you started meditation?
Before I slept about normal 6 hours to 10 hours, depending on how lazy I
Okay.
was.
So depending on the level of your, this, it will, the higher level it gets, and the less sleep you need. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
The thinking during a day creates a lot of wear and tear on your mind and your body, a lot more than you think. Okay, and so that's why if you have less wear and tear during the day, then you need less time for repairs. It's that simple. It's proportional to the wear and tear you put on your body. Okay. Yes.
So how long does it take for people to typically graduate from one dhyan level to another? So if we start and we practice.
Good question. This is when we can brag. Again, you need a Buddhist technique to do that. To go from 0 to 9. I quoted Master Huineng, the 6th Pager, took him that fast. He was delivering firewood. He was very poor, illiterate in China. He had to go to the forest to collect tree branches, put them in a bundle, bring it down to the marketplace and sell it to people to make money. That's how he used to earn his living to support his mother. One day he went to the marketplace, and a gentleman was reciting from the sutra, Buddhist sutra called the Vasha Sutra. This line says, "You in Chinese, you should produce a mind that's nowhere attached." Okay, and he certified to 9th level samadhi right away. He stopped. The reason that you keep on thinking, your thinking mind cannot stop, is because you have these dependencies. You depend on. What do we depend on? I don't know. You depend on your boss to write you a paycheck, give you a raise. Yes. You depend on I don't know, your dog to comfort you. So we have so many dependencies, and that's why that's the source of our thoughts generation. Okay. So when he heard that phrase, produce a mind that's nowhere attached, he immediately stopped thinking, and he reached from zero, we went from zero to ninth samadhi
Without any practice.
without any practice. Isn't that cool? How is it possible? Yes, how is it possible, ma'am?
I have a related question actually. So how do you measure your level? Since your thoughts are in your mind, how do you really know you are there? Or it's like you automatically know when you are at that level? I'm just confused. Like, for example, when I start meditation, like always makes me sleepy. So I want to go, makes me very sleepy. So I don't know what level I am at right now. Maybe negative.
Well, she says she's meditating, she feels sleepy because
Yeah.
you're too comfortable.
I mean, it's relaxing. For example, I just count my breath, in and out, and it's very relaxing, and that makes me sleepy. So I just wonder, like, I feel that's not the right meditation we're talking about, because
You're trying to relax, you're not trying to meditate.
Yeah, meditate. That's
Chai
not your-
meditation is not supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to be hard work. I told you already.
So thank you.
So how do you know? You don't. When you're below level number 9, you really don't. Okay. Level number 9, you know, because once you get there, you know right away. You will know. And beyond that, higher than 9, which our practitioners also achieved, reached, you also will know as well. Okay, eventually. So how do you know? First of all, you don't depend on yourself. Don't say that I know I can stop my thoughts. If you say that, then you can't. Okay. The people who can stop their thoughts will never admit it. So the best way to find out is to ask someone who knows. So for example, my late teacher, Chinese teacher, his level is extremely high, so he can tell. His students who've been practicing meditation with him for 20, 30, 40 years, some of them are able to know. All right? So that's how you find out. Practically speaking, it's best in Chan meditation. Our tradition is to have a teacher, what we call in our world Chan master, someone who has been certified to know enough about Chan to teach you the proper techniques and give you the proper guidance and help you get there a lot sooner, improve a lot quicker. Those people should know. All right? Any other questions? Yes.
First of all, thanks so much for teaching us. So this Chan meditation is very different from what I've been doing for meditation or like yoga. Like when I was doing it, like someone brought that up, like you're kind of like they recommend to have a relaxing position and like be aware of the sensation, like be aware about the surroundings. So I wanted to understand what is the approach for Chan meditation? Do we just try to get rid of the thoughts we have, or are we also trying to have some awareness of what's surrounding us? What's the difference there?
What's the difference? Good question. The difference is how quickly you can get there. Okay, our Chan style is a lot more hardcore, so we get there a lot quicker. We can get to level number 9 a lot quicker than otherwise. For example, we have the techniques to go to 9 very quickly. for as quickly as my share the 6-pager, our 6-pager. Some of my students get there a lot slower. Some of them it took maybe 3 years. Some took a little bit faster. So it depends on the individual. It depends on a lot of factors. Depends on how hard you work. The harder you work, maybe you work harder and follow the instructions, then you get there a lot sooner. Okay. So how is it possible someone who is illiterate, like 6-pager, to reach level number 9 just like that? Because he practiced chant meditation in a prior life. All right, so it's not fair to say he never meditated before. He never meditated before at that lifetime. But before that, he meditated very, very intensively. He reached very high levels. All right? Does it answer your question? All right, anything else? Yes.
I have a question about the relationship between the desire and the different level of this. Well, is it when you go upper level that your desire decrease, but if some people want to go to the upper level, like level 9, level 6, etc., whether it's another kind of desire?
Yes. This is a misconception about desires and samadhi and so forth. The samadhi is a state of mind where you reach that samadhi level and then your mind is in that kind of state. But it's not permanent. There's lots of misconceptions about this. When you enter samadhi, your mind is in samadhi, therefore you're impervious to those types of distractions, of stimuli. But when you exit samadhi, then you're back to your normal, beautiful self. All right? So I liken that to riding an elevator. You ride from the ground floor, you go up to first floor, second floor, and so forth. You, at least when you develop these chant skills here, you have the choice to get off on second floor, third floor, fourth, and all the way to the penthouse. All right? At least you develop that choice for yourself. You can choose at will. Okay? So for example, when you have the chant skills and you go home and you see your son, would you like to stay in samadhi? I would. I want to have fun with my son. Right? And I want to have fun with my wife. I don't have a wife. But, okay? So you choose. You have that choice there. You can decide for yourself. And it makes life actually fuller. It makes life a lot richer because you are in control. You can make all these choices at will. Okay? Until then, if you don't have those type of choices, you basically are a victim to the external stimuli. And that's the first level we're talking about. At very advanced levels, it's got even a lot more interesting. Okay, and so this is what this Wei-Yang lineage of Chan meditation that my late Chinese teacher brought to this country is able to do. All right. So what's my personal interest? I've been coming here to the Silicon Valley because I feel it's our very humble way of giving back. I feel that the best way to compete in our increasingly more competitive society is improve ourselves. You don't improve, people will catch up to you. So it's a race. You improve faster, then you stay ahead of the game. Okay. And Chan meditation to me is fascinating because it's a systematic way of improving yourself. You measure the improvement by not merely knowledge. I know most of you look at improvement as acquiring more knowledge. Okay, improvement to us is samadhi level. Okay, if you're at this samadhi level, you read more books. All you're doing is increasing the breadth of your knowledge. Okay, you're not increasing the depth of your knowledge at all. Okay, so to us, improvement is that you need to. The way I approach improvement myself personally is I work on my samadhi level first. I want to have the breadth first. I want to be able to reach the penthouse, the 10th floor, for example. It's beyond 9, it's also 10th, and then 11th, and so forth. Okay, we don't want to confuse you. We don't want to discourage you. For us professionals, 9th is nothing. For you, it's a big deal. For us, it's not. Okay. My interest is to be able to reach level 10, 9, 10, and so forth, okay, quickly. Because what happens with knowledge is that knowledge has a way of binding you. Knowledge creates attachment. Okay, imagine, for example, being a stockbroker, a trader, and you figure out a way to beat the market. Would you like to do that? I would love to be able to figure out how to beat the market. Oh, you engineers. Bad example, sorry. So if I knew how to beat the market, I'd be sitting there in front of a monitor day and night and figure out how to beat the market, right? Become better and better at it. So well, guess what happens? You're stuck sitting there and trying to beat the market. What's the big deal? Making more money. You're still the same person. Okay, to me. And so that's why it's very dangerous. Knowledge can be rewarding, okay, but there's a flip side to knowledge where the more you know, the more you become attached to that knowledge, and you stop improving. To me, it's not good enough. I'd rather be improving and better myself. So I try to improve by increasing my samadhi level. That's a lot easier to increase your samadhi level before you develop the breadth of that knowledge at that level. Does it make sense? Because let's say you're at current level number 8, and you know you have all these insight and these wisdoms, and it has a tendency. We all develop the tendency to become comfortable, and that's why we ask you, for example, to cross your legs, because it's uncomfortable. If you refuse to do that, then you're not willing to pay the price to improve, because you'd rather be stuck with your knowledge. And it's okay too. One day you will wake up and say, I'm not happy right now with this. I want to be better. Then the Chan meditation is a systematic approach to help you develop that concentration more and more and more and more. That's what I personally find very fascinating about this. You keep improving and improving, improving until you reach the ultimate level of samadhi. humanly possible. And we're all able to do that. Right? And that's the Chinese wisdom that my late teacher brought to this country, and we share it with you. Okay. So I started by saying that I came to Silicon Valley because I feel that it's my small way about paying back to this country. I lived here for a long time myself when I was younger, and now it's become a mecca of all these of you scary people, intense people, and my claim to you is you can be a lot worse through Chan meditation, a lot more productive, a lot more scary, a lot more dangerous. The bigger Jesus, how's that? And don't stop at that. Keep improving. Any questions?
Okay. One more question. I just wonder the skills you mentioned. Is it gonna be shared, or because I came in about like 10 minutes late? Sorry, but was that already shared, or is it gonna be shared in this talk?
The skill is something that you can be taught, and if you put in the work, you're able to develop yourself. My interest is to show you how to improve yourself. The knowledge, you can pick it up from the book. You can pick it up on online. You don't need me. But you need someone to help guide you how to increase your samadhi level, so that when you read something, you read some materials, you can see the depth of that. Instead of only, see, your samadhi level determines how deeply you can penetrate the concepts behind it.
Okay. Yeah, I might misunderstood it. I thought you said there are some skills, that like
You can develop.
You develop by yourself, like with
Yes.
the guidance.
Yes, it is self-developed.
Okay.
And the first thing is that we urge you to not seek comfort when you meditate. That's a wrong approach, because comfort is a form of attachment. If you're comfortable, why do you have to move? Why do you have to do anything more? It's the discomfort that helps you become a better person. Okay.
Thank
The
you.
great artists, the great innovators, the great scientists are most creative when they're unhappy. Think about it.
Thanks for sharing.
Okay. Anything else? We don't have to be here if you have something else better to do. All right. Train yourself and have some more details on how to train yourself to the proper posture. Okay. And the discomfort there, the pain there, actually helps you concentrate a lot quicker, develop the concentration a lot quicker. Okay. So it's up to you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.